Well, they say it takes a village to raise a child. I think that's quite a good saying because it speaks to a holistic response.
Child sexual abuse material is spread today through different type of platforms, darknet, peer-to-peer networks, and also social media. Where do you find, where is the biggest threat according to you?
It's a good question, but I guess historically and factually you've got to consider that the greatest threat is where there's actual physical hands-on abuse of a child, contact sexual abuse. We put a lot of our resources onto victim identification because that's the worst for us. You know, that's where we see the greatest harm happening. But my view on that has really changed over the last couple of years with the steady and quite significant increase in self-produced material. You know, you look at some of the material and you don't know whether, in some cases, you don't know if it's two children that are talking to each other. It's filmed in a house, bathroom, bedroom. But in many cases we do know that it's a child sex offender that is ultimately sextorting a child. And that's incredibly problematic for us because, you know, we don't know where the offender is, we don't know where the child is, but we also are getting more and more evidence to show the harm that that causes to a kid. You know, some of the material now that our victim ID team, and if you speak to any of them, they'll tell you that about 60% of the new material they're now dealing with is self-produced material. And like I said, you know, like our resources have been thrown into online grooming, you know, where we go online posing as kids to trap predators. We have infiltrated over the last 5 years tour boards and brought them down. We're very active on peer-to-peer, on the file sharing platforms, identifying those that are distributing child exploitation material. But ultimately, across all of those platforms, like I said, our primary role as law enforcement is to stop sexual abuse. The distribution is a problem, and that's an indicator for us. That tells us that person who is sharing the image or has possession of the image is a potential threat to the community. How great the threat is, we don't know until we execute the search warrant.
So how do we combat that issue?
Well, they say it takes a village to raise a child. I think that's quite a good saying because it speaks to a holistic response. You know, the protection of children isn't just the remit for law enforcement. It's the remit for parents, carers, guardians. You know, they're the front line. In most cases, they're the ones that give them the portable electronic device that they're using to communicate. So they have a role. You know, the industry has a huge role here. Just the app, like I was talking about, the app developers, they have a role here. It's a whole of government, it's education, NGOs. There's many pieces to the pie that have a responsibility in this. So the reality is that it just needs us all to work more effectively together and consistently.
What's the most important thing with victim ID going forward?
Okay, so just take the human resource element out of that equation because that's obviously fundamental. But you know, just the same way that the internet has grown with quantum leaps in technological advances, the really good thing is that industry has stepped into this space as well to help us. You know, I remember the tools we used, you know, 15, 16 years ago compared to what we've got now. And, you know, artificial intelligence, you know, using AI to automatically detect child exploitation material. You know, we ran that project with Safer Society and trained the tool on our database, and you know, we're getting 80-90% accuracy rate. Look at the benefits of that. You know, just for our people, for a start, you know, well-being, psychological well-being because of that.